the reason I wanna make my first video about Armored Core 6 ever on is because this here to me, this is immediately early in the game, right? Suddenly you can do all this shopping, buy weapons and so on, right? And this is where I feel immediately, From Software, baby, they get it, they get it. They get video game, because this here, there's no handhelding, baby. There's no baby mode. It's just like, oh, you get the store, and I can buy this thing, you wanna buy this thing, you can buy so much different weapons, right? And I used to play in the game. I played the game for about an hour, maybe half an hour, I don't know. But whatever, right? Already here, I have so many options, and I have no idea what they're doing, and the game doesn't tell me what to buy or not to buy. And this is why From Software, I think honestly, keep being relevant, right? Because, of course, here now, Armored Core, it's a different game than Elden Ring, of course it is. It is Mecha, combat system is different, you're flying around and so on. There are of course some, similarities, of course, right? And this is more mission-based versus the open world and so on. But what this game still has, right, that makes it Elden Ring-like, is basically the freedom, right? The freedom of, you can build whatever you want. I made a Swedish mecha, right? And then I can buy a bunch of different weapons. Of course, you will unlock more weapons later, right? But just immediately, just in the first hour of the gameplay, I already have, 4 or 5 choices here, 5 choices here, this thing, that thing. And also, again, the game doesn't even tell me what I should do, right? Because I can do whatever I want. That is why From Software is popular, right? Thought about it at length, I feel, for the last few weeks now, with Baldur's Gate 3. Same thing there, right? It's the freedom how to interact in the world, but also just general freedom with options and builds and so on, right? This is what people like, And it's so weird to me that, I always been a gamer for like 30 plus years, right? And I feel that all the old games were like this, right? The old games just gave you, here's a mecha, build it however you want, We won't tell you what is good or not, you do something. For example, I was a big fan of Front Mission when I was a kid. So I played all of them, right? 3, 4 and so. I love 3 as the best storyline. And I even imported for them. Because when it's in Sweden then, my mecha is blue and yellow here, right? In Sweden, Front Mission 4 was never released, I had to buy it, import and so on. But basically in those games, you have your mecha and so on, you build. It's turn-based though, but it's very similar when it comes to this stuff, right? The point is that game, it also didn't explain shit, right? It just gave you like a shop with 500 mechas. It's like, you just buy whatever you want. Yeah, you can build whatever you want. You don't, like, you know what I mean? And that is what I feel. I keep saying it, but I think that's where, personally, I almost hate everything produced in the West, right? I feel, honestly, right? Very open generalization here, of course. But I think that most games, unfortunately, produced in Europe, less I suppose, but mostly America, are just so damn easy, right? Because they're just streamlining handhelding you. I haven't even come that far in this game, but already I have like 500 different mecha options, right? And you can also in this game, of course, really customize. Obviously I made the Swedish mecha, right? I had to, guys. The first thing I was like before the video, I was like, we're gonna make a Swedish mecha, man, blue, yellow, in the. I was like, this is gonna be badass, right? So you have that thing going as well, right? You can of course also make your. I said you can make so much stuff happening here. You can actually spec around. You can make your own decal. The game is a lot. Honestly, the game is very advanced here because you can actually make your own. So I just tried here. I made like a sound double thing, so you can make so much stuff here too. Different layers and so on. This actually isn't that advanced. It's basically like a layer program, but still though, right? The player can make a lot of edits here, so it's very impressive, right? Again, Elden Ring had pretty good custom creations as well for that matter, right? But anyway, the store. But yeah, I really want to make this video here because it feels like another, good hit, right, from Software. And honestly, I can see it here, where I keep saying it, but I think without having played too much of the actual combat design, right, of the game, I can see it here because the game developer is trusting you, right? The game developer is trusting you as a player to have basic intelligence. I think this comes back to what I said yesterday in my Baldur's Gate 3 review that I finally finished yesterday, where Baldur's Gate 3 right, also assumes that, well, almost you as the player will understand that throwing this stuff or that stuff and so on will work or not work, or if I hit that guy, the guy will come running, right? So there's no tutorial telling you to not do that, right? Again, very similar to, software games, where it's like, here's a world, fight, here's a store, buy whatever you want. Obviously, you have stats down there, right? You can read, right? And that's up to the player to decide, should I buy this weapon? Maybe I should change. Maybe I should have this thing, right? I can look at the stats, something, attack powers, all right? And it's up to me as the gamer, as the player, right, to make, I don't say the correct decision, but what I want to play. Maybe I want to focus on double, artillery and so on. For example, I worked on this game a couple years ago, where you control, it's also a building game basically, right? You build different tanks, different ways. It's very similar to this game. It's pure multiplayer though. But also, yeah, it's very similar, right? It's very, very similar, honestly, very similar. But of course, the budget is an indie game, so we only had like 10 people, right? So it's like the budget, if anything. But yeah, in that game, that I designed all the weapons, right, and all the different weights and so on, and balanced it. So same thing there. It was really fun to think about. Oh, or did this thing does this much damage and this thing and so on. So well, spreadsheets, but like that. But obviously, when I designed that game, the same thing there. I never told the player, I never told the user, right, what is the best weapon, right? I just gave them, here are 50 weapons and 50 different legs or whatever, right? Different tools and so on, different body parts, and they have different stats, right? That's up to you to combine them however you want, right? Yeah, of course you have drawback. If you have all the heavier stuff, you can be heavy and slow. There's some balance there, right? And I have worked on the balance, right? But it's up to you, the player, to do whatever you want. Right? That's the whole idea, right? Especially in these kind of like custom-tailored mecha games, right? Like for Mission or whatever, Super Robot Wars, whatever, right? Yeah. They all been about this stuff, right? So it feels to me immediately that, yeah, From Software, they're nailing it again, right? That, yeah, that this is what game should be, right now. The freedom, and it's a combination of freedom, but also like actually trusting the player to do whatever they want, right? Or like believing the player aren't stupid. And I want to say one thing though, before I rant too much about other companies. I find it, somewhat fine that Nintendo is doing it, right? Yeah, there is one caveat. Nintendo are sometimes way too hand-holding. I do feel that Zelda, interesting enough, isn't very much hand-holding, right? But yeah, when it comes to Nintendo or the similar games, right? Obviously, if they're made for a younger audience, then I think it's fine, right? It still could be probably like an option, yes or no, but it's more fine there. But any kind of adult game, right? And I don't mean adult, I mean for plus like 13 or whatever. No, the player should be expected to understand the game, right? And of course, games used to be so much harder, right? Nintendo hard is a concept right now, because games back to the NES era and SNES era were like 10 times harder than most games today. And I think it comes back to what I said a few months ago, where I feel that almost every game coming out are like completely brainless, right? They're so incredibly easy, and it ruins the game experience, because what a game should be about a challenge, mostly, right? You have different fun factors in a video game, but mostly challenge is like the big one. And it feels really bad to me, right? Like I'm so lost interest, right? In so many game components. It's all about either microtransaction, getting in the loop, whatever, and the game is just boring, right? From an actual challenge standpoint. And it doesn't matter if you make a good game, a good combat design or whatever, if there's no challenge, right? Basically, it's never gonna play well anyway. It's gonna be fun anyway. But anyway, guys, it's my first Rubicon video of Record 6. Of course, I'll make more of them. I'll definitely make some video about how to spec or whatever when I play a game myself. But I want to start here because I feel that as a gamer, so to speak, more than a developer, I suppose, as a gamer here immediately, I can feel that, okay, this game is going to be good, man. Because the game just gives the From Software, they trust me, and that's why I trust them to make a good game, right, or to be a good game, yeah. I can like immediately feel here, I keep saying it, but I can feel here in the first hour that, no, but this game is going to be good. Because they're trusting me, right? They actually think that I'm not stupid, right? And that is a big thing, I believe, for their games, right? But anyway, please subscribe, like button, and have a great day.